I'm a full-time working man who has big goals he wants to accomplish, not only for myself, financially, but also for the legacy of my family and the impact that I want to have in the world. But I would struggle to make consistent progress towards them because I'd try to fit all of these desires into my daily schedule. And as a result, I would be making a little bit of progress towards each goal, but not in the way that I could truly achieve. I'd always felt like there was a shortage of time until I started to simply focus on one thing and one thing alone. Discarded everything else that was basically not the main priority right now, and I started to book actually consistent progress towards making something out of my life. Because you know what the thing is? One goal has already so many different tasks within it. It takes already so much of your time that also that one goal can have a ripple effect on all the other goals that you want to accomplish. So there's mainly one thing that you have to figure out that has the highest leverage, which you should focus on, which eventually makes everything better for you. So the way that you can actually find out what that goal is, you have to write down all the goals that you want to accomplish. Mainly the main three that you want to set for yourself. For me, that is financial goals, that is legacy for my family, and that is the impact that I want to have in the world. And so, as I wrote those three down, I asked myself, out of all of these three, which one would change my life the most? And what do you think that one is going to be? It wasn't money, honestly. It was meaning. It was the impact that I want to have in the world. Because if I only start acting on the money, then I would do all sorts of things in order to make money. But the legacy of my family will be tainted. And also the impact that I want to have on the world will not be as good as I want it to be. But if I put impact first, that makes sure that whatever I do is to help people grow and to become better and to live towards being the greatest version of themselves. So all the decisions that I make afterwards when it comes to my legacy and to making money will be in line with the number one goal. Being able to accomplish that will give the highest leverage to everything. So every day I align myself to living aligned with that goal. For me, it's always been a matter of setting the right priority for the season that is coming ahead. And everything else that was inside of my life that wasn't aligned with it was being sacrificed. Sometimes that also means not training martial arts, which I love to do, or doing it less than I actually wanted to do, simply because I need to accomplish this one goal first as quickly as possible to make sure that all the other goals will then eventually fall into place and be accomplished alongside of it. This also means that sometimes I have to be working 70 hours a week to make sure that I do the tasks that are necessary. Because if I am focused on 3 different goals at the same time, my time will be spread thin because I work full-time. 40 hours of my week is already being invested into my full-time job. So I have to be very careful with the time that I put into the things that I want to see for myself, the things that I want to realize. And you know, I've heard most people tell me, oh, you got to think about your mental health. And maybe this is something that you're thinking about yourself as well. What about my mental health? You know, I have to sometimes walk outside. I have to get some sunlight into my eyes. I have to see my family. And yes, the thing is, when you have your goals set in place, you align all of your activities towards accomplishing that goal. Now, that also means your off time is aligned to the goal that you want to accomplish. So if that means that you have to go for a swim, if that means that you have to walk outside, if that means you have to dance in the rain, it doesn't matter what it is. It is meant to re-energize you, to take a little bit of that edge off of your shoulders so that you can go again into accomplishing the goal that you want to accomplish, the goal that has the main priority and will bring the biggest change in everything. This is what I would call full alignment to your goals. It's not trying to put in your time and energy into all of these other things at the same time, but it's by sacrificing everything that isn't aligned to you accomplishing that goal, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. And trust me, it is uncomfortable. It is painful. Every day you wake up and sometimes it even feels like you are missing out. You're seeing people having fun. You're seeing people going on barbecues. You see people being on the beach. Like right now where I'm living, the sun is shining outside. The weather has been good for a couple of weeks, but I still decide to work on doing the things that are necessary for me to grow. Working on my business, working on fulfillment. That will mean that I will leave a good legacy behind for my children. That when I'm lying on my deathbed, that I can actually be proud of myself for what I did. I could now take the easy route and tell myself, you know what, I'm not going to work on my tasks and I'm going to lie down on the beach. And I'm going to forget about everything else and my responsibilities and all the goals that I've set up for myself simply because I want to feel a little bit good because of the fact that I feel challenged. No, even right now in this moment, I am sleep deprived. I went out to see a friend for the first time last night. I had drove for 1 hour from where I'm living to his place in the evening while I was supposed to be going to bed. And that was also like in the frame of winning a competition. And I see myself as a winner. So I told myself I'm going to make it happen. I messaged him and I made sure that we were going to meet. And I told him we're going to meet tonight. We're going to make it happen. We are going to be the winners. We are competing with 3 other people and we won. Number 1. And that feels good. And yeah, was I sleep deprived? Yeah, I only slept like 5 hours last night. I normally sleep like 8 to 9 hours. Is it tough? Yeah, but this is what you do. And I'm not going to complain and I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, I'm sleep deprived. I'm going to lie down in my bed and sleep more, although that is what my body craves. No, I just drink 2 coffees, put some eye drops into my eyes, look a little bit into the sunlight, allow it to energize me because I know that that is one of the things that I have to do to recharge my batteries to go again because the season hasn't finished yet. If I don't do that what is necessary, I will not accomplish my goals. Now, the thing is also, your mental health depends on the progress that you make. So as you grow and as you develop and as you become better and you see it visually happening, then you will be more motivated to do it. And the motivation doesn't come before. The motivation comes after you take massive action, be in pain, be positive and optimistic about the experience that you're going through, turning your fears into a superpower by being grateful that you are afraid, understanding that your fears are actually you being outside of your comfort zone, and you being outside of your comfort zone means that you are going to grow. So we as men must fight to be in discomfort. We must acknowledge and embrace the discomfort. It is going to be painful. Aligning yourself to the life that you want to have, which most people are not even living, is not an easy thing to do. But that's good, because that means that the competition is low. And if you can succeed to do this consistently, continuously, over a long period of time, how can you not succeed? How can you not win? One thing that you will also notice with the discomfort that you'll experience is that it fades over time. You know, as I woke up in the morning, I was groggy. Didn't want to do it. Didn't want to talk to anyone. Sat down, had these negative thoughts into my mind. And now that I am actually getting a little bit warmed up into doing this, into recording the second video now, I feel fine. I feel okay. And I know that by the time the third video is finished, I'll feel even better. And in the evening, I'm absolutely proud of myself that I did that what was necessary to move me forward, that I sacrificed all the irrelevant things that weren't going to help me to get closer towards my goals in comparison to if I did actually give in and decided to chill. By the time that I wake up tomorrow morning, will I be in discomfort? Yes. Will I feel thoughts that will try to hinder me? Yes. Will I feel insecure? Yes. But that's the thing. You get warmed up. You know, when you go to the gym or when you go running, what's one of the things that you do? You warm up your muscles, because if you go in cold, it's painful. Like way too painful, and you get injured. And so discomfort kind of works the same way. It's like building up stamina. Grit and mental strength work exactly like that. It's something that you build over a period of time by showing up, doing it, being in pain, pushing through, resting as a result of it, which is you sleeping as well as possible, of course. I'm not saying that because I'm sleep deprived now that I do this consistently. No, this was an exception that I made because I knew that doing that was actually going to make me better, because I took massive action in order to make it happen. I put other things to the side in order to make it happen. I told my wife randomly, get dressed, we're gonna go travel for an hour. Let's travel, let's make it happen. She was all confused, but she was happy. You know, it's also something fun for her to experience, is to have a man who takes massive action, a man who does that what is necessary, who can just barge into the room and say, okay, we're gonna go do this, that, blah, blah, blah. And we did it, and we had an amazing time with him, got to know him and his family, and I'm absolutely grateful. We won the competition, we did what was necessary. And that gave me experience in consistently doing this. Also helped me in building up the belief that I can actually do it. And these are the things that we are consistently chasing. The little small confirmations that we are capable of achieving the goals that we want to accomplish. And that happens by taking the actions, eventually seeing the results coming from it. And that gets like saved up into our memory, so to say. And by memory, I specifically mean your belief system. So something that I want to share with you that can help you to overcome the discomfort that you are experiencing, which helps you to remind you what you were doing it for, is you can do it daily. I used to do it daily and now I only do it weekly, is to sit down and give yourself a little bit of time to think about the decisions that you have made during the week or during the day that are aligned to you accomplishing your goals, like the main goal that you have set for yourself. And you have to be brutally honest in this moment, because by writing down the things that you have done, you can pin that back to your main goal and ask yourself, was this actually really necessary? No. Okay, I shouldn't do this anymore. Or if you have something that you've done that is in line with that, you say, okay, cool, I'm going to do more of that because it helps me to push the needle forward. It is actually in line with achieving that main goal that I've set. And it's one of the most easiest ways to visually see the progress that you are making. And you can correct yourself right away in that moment. I honestly suggest doing it daily. It's more difficult, but you have way more control. Because instead of doing it weekly, the thing with doing it weekly is that you have an entire week, you do it, and then at the end of the week, you evaluate it. But if you do it daily, you can correct yourself daily. And then in combination of that, you can do a weekly evaluation, going down every day that you have spent working, or at least thinking that you were doing something right, looking down on the things that you have written, and then asking yourself how much % of that was actually congruent with what I was doing. And if you evaluate that every week, and you can even make like statistics out of it on spreadsheets or Excel, and you can make a graph out of it. And you can see on the graph whether you've went up or you've went down, and that helps you to stay in check with where you want to go. And by the way, this is a disclaimer, but it's the truth. Don't expect the results to come instantly. Give it at least 3 to 6 months of time for the decisions that you make today to compound into something that is beneficial. With everything said, go down to the comment section and write down what the main goal is that you want to accomplish for this current season of your life. I'm looking forward to reading what your main goal is to accomplish, and I want to see you win and make it happen. Always remember that you are 100% responsible for the results in your life. Make the hard decision today, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye-bye.